Hello and welcome to Clearview Television News. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. In the news, warning strike by members of the non-academic unions of federal universities in Nigeria enters day 2. President Yoweri Museveni seeks sixth term as Uganda's votes in national election. US executes first woman by lethal injection in nearly 70 years. And Prudence Okona with the details of these and more stories. Lisa Montgomery, 52, has been executed by lethal injection at the Federal Correctional Complex in Terre Haute, Indiana, and pronounced dead at 1:31 a.m. Wednesday. Montgomery was the first woman to be executed by the government since 1953 and was the only woman on death row. The Supreme Court denied last-ditch effort late Tuesday by her defense attorneys who argue that she should have been given a competency hearing to prove her severe mental illness, which would have made her ineligible for the death penalty. She was the 11th federal death row inmate to be executed by the Trump administration after a 17-year break in federal executions. Montgomery's attorneys, family, and supporters had pleaded with President Donald Trump to read their clemency petition and make an execution decision to commute her sentence to life without the possibility of parole. A federal judge has granted a stay of execution for the only woman on federal death row pending a competency hearing. Montgomery was sentenced to death in 2008 by a Missouri jury for the 2004 murder of a pregnant woman, cutting the fetus out and kidnapping it. A baby survived. A federal judge granted Montgomery a stay of execution Tuesday after competency hearing, just hours before she was scheduled to be executed. But the Supreme Court denied the effort and pleas to President Trump was unsuccessful. And David Barclay, the secretive British billionaire whose portfolio included the Daily Telegraph newspaper and the Reed's Hotel, has died aged 86 after a short illness. His newspaper reported Wednesday. Barclay and his twin Frederick, described by the Daily as identical in appearance, lifestyle, and often even in dress, built a vast business empire from shipping to retail. Among those paying tribute to David Barclay was a former employee, Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who made his name on the newspaper as a Brussels-bashing Europe correspondent and later a columnist. The Barclay brothers entered the media industry in 1992 when they bought the European, a weekly newspaper launched 2 years earlier by the media magnate Robert Maxwell. And Google-owned YouTube on Tuesday temporarily suspended President Donald Trump's channel and removed a video for violating its policy against inciting violence, joining other social media platforms in banning his accounts after last week's Capitol riots. Trump's access to the social media platforms he has used as a megaphone during his presidency has been largely cut off since a violent mob of his supporters stormed the Capitol in Washington, D.C. last week. Operators say the embittered leader could use his accounts for foment more unrest in the run-up to President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration. The statement said the channel is now temporarily prevented from uploading new content for a minimum of 7 days. The video sharing platform also said it will be indefinitely disabling comments on Trump's channel because of safety concerns. Facebook last week suspended Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts following the violent invasion of the U.S. Capitol, which temporarily disrupted the certification of Biden's election victory. And Ugandans are going to the polls on Thursday to elect a new leader in an election where the incumbent president Yoweri Museveni is contesting for a sixth term. In a sign that Uganda's government is preparing for protests and possible violence in the aftermath of the national election, the country's telecommunications regulator has blocked all social media platforms and messaging apps. In a letter sent to internet providers, the Uganda Communications Commission said popular services like Facebook and WhatsApp must be suspended until further notice. Social media has played an important role in the general election campaign, with presidential candidates and major parties publishing a plethora of videos, speeches, and promises online as they try to win over Uganda's youthful and increasingly tech-savvy population. President Yoweri Museveni has posted sleek videos and snaps of his campaign stops on Facebook and used his official page on Monday to tell supporters that they were just 48 hours away from victory. However, his main rival, the pop star turned politician Bobby Wine, has a significantly bigger presence on social media platforms, and the move by the communications regulator may be designed to suppress and hinder Wine and his hopeful supporters. The 38-year parliamentarian has cast doubts on the poll, saying the election is being stolen and rigged by the mere fact that he has been blocked from campaigning on the streets, not allowed to have posters or billboards, and blocked from TV and radio. If Museveni does claim victory on Thursday, many expect supporters of Wine and his National Unity Platform party to voice their outrage in country-wide demonstrations. And a top health official says that Israel may include children over the age of 12 in groups receiving COVID-19 vaccines within the next 2 months if research shows this is safe. Vaccinating at a world record pace, Israel says it aims to have administered one or both shots to 5 million of its 9 million citizens and reopen the economy by mid-March. Elderly Israelis and adults with medical conditions or jobs in critical high-risk sectors have been given priority. But with Israeli officials anticipating more regular vaccine shipments, the eligibility categories have been expanded. Nachman Ash, the national coordinator on the pandemic, predicted that pharmacological research would establish that the minimum age threshold for the vaccines could be safely lowered from 16 to 12. According to him, Food and Drug Administration approval for such use is expected to be secured by March. Around 7.75% of Israel's population are between the ages of 12 and 16, according to the Central Bureau of Statistics data. And back to Nigeria, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) has recorded 1,270 new cases of coronavirus. This brings the total number of infections to 102,601 in Nigeria. The NCDC made this known on its official website Tuesday, confirming that 12 new deaths were recorded in the past 24 hours. This takes the nation's death toll to 1,373. NCDC reported that new infections were reported from 21 states and the Federal Capital Territory. According to the breakdown released by the health agency, Lagos takes the lead with 435 infections, FCT 234, Oyo 103, and Plateau 86. Other states with new infections are Rivers 71, Enugu 51, Nasarawa 41, Delta 39, Edo 39, Osun 33, Niger 31, Sokoto 23, Ondo 16, and Taraba 13. Ebonyi 12, Kano 10, Abia 9, Bayelsa 8, Bauchi 7, Imo 5, Katsina 3, and Gombe 1 case. And former military administrator of Imo and Lagos states, Ndubuisi Kanu, is dead. The retired Rear Admiral, 78, passed away this Wednesday in a hospital after a brief illness. Residents of Ugunta in Isukwato local government of Abia State is in a mourning mood. Kanu fought on the Biafran side during the Civil War and was reabsorbed into the Nigerian military at the end of the war in 1970. In July 1975, as a lieutenant commander, the deceased was appointed a member of Murtala Muhammad's ruling cabinet, the Supreme Military Council. He was a member of National Democratic Coalition, NADECO, the group which fought for the revalidation of the late Moshood Abiola's annulled June 12, 1993 presidential mandate. Kanu was part of those who signed an ultimatum for the General Sani Abacha regime to revalidate Abiola's mandate and hand over power. In hope that federal universities will reopen soon may be dashed as members of non-academic unions have begun a 3-day warning strike. In a letter dispatched to all branch chairmen of both Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions NASU and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities SANU, the Joint Action Committee of the two unions explained that the 3-day protest is against sharing of 40 billion naira end allowances and non-implementation of the agreement it reached with the federal government.
At their meeting held in Abuja, the two unions listed inconsistencies in the IPPIS payment, non-payment of earned allowances EA, non-payment of arrears of minimum wage, delay in renegotiation of FGN, NASU, and SANU 2009 agreements, non-payment of retirement benefits of outgone members, teaching staff usurping headships of non-teaching units in clear violation of conditions of service and established procedures, neglect and poor funding of state universities, and non-constitution of visitation panels for universities as contained in the Memorandum of Understanding as issues in dispute. The JAC directed members of the unions to use Monday, January 11, 2021, to sensitize all their colleagues to the imperativeness of the warning strike. The directive, which was jointly signed by the General Secretary of NASU, Peter Adeyemi, and President of SANU, Mohammed Ibrahim, added that a 3-day protest should hold from Tuesday 12th to Thursday 14th January 2021 at each branch from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day, while faulting the 75% to members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU and 25% to the non-academic staffers. Adeyemi submitted that the process that was used in determining the sharing formula was not scientific. He also challenged federal government to unveil the findings of a forensic audit empaneled to determine how much earned allowance is still outstanding. The protest was peaceful at the University of Nigeria, Enugu campus, where the chairman, Comrade Kaluagu, warned that unions will shut down the university system if the government fails to meet their demands and abide by the agreements entered into.
There is victory for us in our struggle for our members. There is victory for us.
One of the striking issues, and which is very pathetic, annoying, and devastating, is the fact that federal government remains 40 billion naira for the payment of earned allowances to all the staff of the federal university. Surprisingly and disappointedly, the federal government said a paltry percentage of 25% will be given to all the non-teaching staff unions, which comprises of SANU, NASU. If after this one strike, or this is a protest, nothing is done by the federal government to address our contending issue, we'll be left with no option than to shut down the university system. And we make sure that it's going to be total, it's going to be comprehensive, it's going to be such that not even a fly will cross this university gate. I think this gate here, not even a single person.
At the Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Umudike, Abia State, the chairman of SANU, who doubles as the chairman of Joint Action Committee of the unions, Ken Njoku, says the workers are not happy with the non-payment of retirement benefits of their members.
That the federal government is insensitive to the plight of our members. That the federal government has told us in principle that they are not interested in quality education in the university. Because if they are interested in the quality education of the university, they should be able to attend to ordinary understanding agreement reached, how can the government renege in agreement freely entered? Agreement freely entered, that's also as important as the system. For us, the non-teaching staff of the universities, we are there, the university on the tripod stand. Without the non-teaching staff in the university cannot function effectively. Sure, it's a fact. Because we are the people that receive the students from the onset as they come in. We process them. We also ensure their safety. We ensure a very conducive atmosphere for their teaching. At the end of the day, we also graduate them out of the university. So how less important are the non-teaching staff? I tell us was important as any other component, as any other union, as any other member of this university. Yes, sir.
And from Benin City, the Edo State capital, comes the report that the unions who staged a peaceful demonstration around the University of Benin Ugbo campus accused the federal government of not being faithful to an agreement reached with the unions.
Some of our members up till now, since February last year, have not received their salaries. Some have been displaced out of the payroll. Let the public know that we are not the problem. We want the university system to thrive, but the government has been recalcitrant in terms of honoring agreements. And this is one of the weapons we have to push government to honor, and the agreement.
The government is recalcitrant in honoring all these things. So that is why we have been asked to come out today and let the world know that we are not just after only remuneration and allowances alone, but there are other issues.
It was in the course of discharging our responsibility and lawful duty that 6 of our members contracted the dreaded COVID-19.
It will be recalled that negotiations between the Nigerian government and NASU and SANU have been lingering since 2009 with no concrete solutions.
You're watching Clearview Television News. More stories to come after this time out.
Today, night all reach for me to settle blessing for you. When this girl first got this my shop called network, now so on top of NTF 4G phone, now this girl could be press. I provoke. I power no in short, reach what time, eh? The ambulance make her tell her to make she mash her hat. Come up from my shop. And later I go realize say this girl go snap her, put her for inside internet. They take her to adverts. Now I make customers they come with my shop. Blessing, I want to make you help me manage my shop now.
Madam, but I think now me and Blessing start work the same time.
Now you and Blessing start work the same time. Blessing, you better start on the T-shirt for top of your 4G MTN phone.
Business makes sense on top super fast and reliable MTN 4G. Join MTN, make you enjoy double data.
You're welcome back. And the Archbishop of Sokoto Diocese, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, says he's ready to apologize if he's shown any part of his Christmas sermon, that insulted Islam. Kuka was reacting to a statement by the Islamic groups JNI, who alleges that he beat the finger that fed him despite being accepted and tolerated. Bishop Kuka also asked the Islamic groups to show him where and how in all his sermon that he insulted Islam or Muslims. In his response to the JNI statement, Kuka noted that the JNI secretary dwelt more on politics rather than humanity to have accused him of firing an arrow at the heart of Islam and Muslims in Nigeria. Bishop Kuka explained that the statement said he has been accorded respect and accommodated in Sokoto and has turned around to bite a finger that has fed him. Bishop Kuka noted that his area of research is religion, politics and society. He is concerned about how religion can help to form good citizens and also how the state can create an environment that enables citizens to achieve this. The National Youth Service Corps NYSC and the National Council for Arts and Culture NCAC are collaborating to empower the Nigerian youth. Receiving the Director General of the Nigerian Youth Service Corps (NYSC), Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim at the NCAC headquarters this Wednesday in Abuja, the DG NCAC Otumba Ronshewe said the time to educate Nigerian youths on the importance of self-actualization is now in order to build a virile nation for the younger generation. Clearview TV's Rose Aldo has more.
Speaking on the essence of the courtesy visit, the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Shaibu Ibrahim, said the NYSC has promoted healthy relationship in the past and is still doing that, hence the call on the NCAC to accept corps members and inculcate the diverse cultural values on them for a better tomorrow, as the white-collar jobs are no longer available.
This generation has referred to them as a digital generation. They can do wonders, and you need to see what these corps members can do. And as a fallout of this, cultural troop, I believe that we can leverage on the experiences of the arts and council, and culture, so that we can train some of these corps members, the best that we selected, so that we can train them, so that they can enhance their further performances.
Responding, the NCAC Director General, Otumba Olusegun Ronshewe, promised to throw his weight behind the NYSC and the corps officials to enlighten the youth on the need to think outside the box.
The time has come to enlighten and reawaken our youth. Not everybody can get a government job. For us, we must engage our youth from the beginning. Where is the beginning starting from? NYSC. So I'm particularly very happy today, and this is a special day as far as I'm concerned, and that is why we are unveiling a plaque today. NYSC, NCAC, the partnership that works.
Otumba further called on various agencies, parastatals of government and the organized private sectors to accept and train corps members posted to them to make Nigeria great again. Rose Audu, reporting for Clearview Television.
The National Examinations Council (NECO) has released the Internal Senior Secondary School Examination (SSCE) results with a 2% increase of candidates who made 5 credits and above in all subjects. The council also recognized 12 schools for their involvement in mass cheating and whole school cases of malpractice. The registrar, Professor Godswill Obioma, announced this at the NECO headquarters in Minna. He said the schools recognized include 4 schools in Adamawa, 2 in Kaduna, 2 in Katsina, 2 in Niger, 1 in Taraba, and 1 in the FCT. He said that 24 supervisors were blacklisted for various offenses ranging from poor supervision, aiding and abetting connivance with non-candidates to cheat. And in Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike has dared other governors to reveal the identities of contractors handling projects in their various states. Governor Wike threw the challenge during the commissioning of the Rumuikini Alu Road in Obiakpo and Ikwere local government areas of the state. He pledged to continue to patronize local contractors who deliver quality road projects for the Rivers State government. Revealing the names of contractors handling road projects in Rivers State, Wike said governors give contracts to family members rather than prioritize quality. Commissioning the project, former secretary to the government of the Federation, Senator Ayim Pius Ayim, commended Governor Wike for setting an example in building infrastructure. Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Sabo Nanono, has expressed dissatisfaction with the quality of work on the 3.5 kilometers road in Kabo local government of Kano State. Nanono bared his mind during an inspection tour of the project.
The Rural Roads Project under the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is to fast-track agricultural production in the state. While on an inspection tour, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Sabo Nanunu, expresses dismay with the progress of work and the quality of the rural projects.
We are not satisfied with work at Cabo, and we are taking measures on that. Yes, but this one at Jambusa, we are very, very satisfied. The roads are supposed to link agricultural areas. That's why they are called rural roads. But they are not rural in the sense that you are talking. We have already gone far ahead now. We are doing asphalted roads, even for rural areas. The road is made for the farmers, and we expect that they will use it for their own good.
The minister, however, urged the contractors to speed up specification and timeline, noting that the roads, when completed, will ease transportation of farm produce in the state.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in Taraba State has paraded 2 persons in connection with kidnapping syndicates in the state. The Corps Commandant in Taraba State, Mohammed Washak, says the arrest is part of steps to address the security challenge in the state.
Taraba State has in the last 3 years recorded a surge in incidents of kidnapping. The trend, which began in the state capital, Jalingo, over time spread to other local government areas. The elites and lately the middle class and even the poor have fallen victim, with millions of naira paid as ransom. The arrest of 2 suspected kidnap kingpins in Karim Lamido local government area by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps could be the lead to addressing the challenge in northern Taraba State. The first suspect, a 65-year-old Yahya Madugu, was arrested for constantly bailing suspected kidnappers in police custody, while 43-year-old Adamu Amadou was arrested in connection with aiding a kidnapping syndicate in Karim Lamido.
Ana zargina da cewa na san yan kidnappers. Bunda aka kawo lalle hakika ni ranka da bana yi.
Wannan tunda nake a duniya ban taba wannan ba. In ba kawar wannan da taba yin nan ba.
Taraba State Commandant Mohammed Wakshak says the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps will continue to work with other security agencies to address the criminal trend in the state.
These 2 people were arrested in 2 different locations, but in the same local government, which is Karim Lamido local government. They are high-profile kidnappers. The suspect, whenever they're arrested, he is fond of taking their bail from the police and either from the court or whatever it is. So indirectly, he's an accomplice and he has a lot to tell you about.
Taraba State Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps tasks citizens to play their roles in curbing kidnapping incidents in the state by reporting suspicious persons to the appropriate authorities.
The Inspector General of Police, IGP Mohammed Adamu, has ordered the posting and redeployment of 9 commissioners of police to state commands and formations. In a release made available to newsmen and with reference number CZ5300 FPRD FHQ ABJ Volume 3/59 dated 12th January 2021. The Deputy Force Public Relations Officer Remu Adeniran says their redeployment is with immediate effect. With the new order, 9 state commands and the other police formations will get new police commissioners. Some of the postings include Kebbi State CP Adeleke Adeyinka, FHQ Abuja CP Philip Mako, Sokoto State CP Ali Janga, Armament Abuja CP Ohikere S. Idris, CMDT Police College Ikeja CP Daniel Sokari Pedro. You're watching Clearview TV News. More stories to come after this time out.
Here is the news of cooperation and collaboration on DSTV channel 255 between MITV and Clearview TV. Every day at 7 p.m., we bring you a half-hour comprehensive news on DSTV channel 255. On Tuesdays, however, we read the news at 8:30 p.m. Come join us. 7 p.m. on DSTV 255. It's a deal.
You're welcome back. And the Federal High Court in Abuja this Wednesday dismissed a suit challenging the validity of the primary election that produced Rotimi Akeredolu as the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in the 2020 election in Ondo State. In a judgment delivered by Justice Eyang Ekwo, the court held that the suit instituted by Olajumoke Anifowoshe was statute barred, having been filed outside the 14 days allowed by law for a pre-election matter. A plaintiff in the suit filed on her behalf by Adesina Oke contended that Section 87 of the Electoral Act and Article 20 of the APC Constitution were violated in the primaries by the State Executive Committee and Local Government Committee that conducted the election. Anifowoshe had prayed the court for an order declaring the primaries null and void and to bar the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) from recognizing Rotimi Akeredolu as the governorship candidate of the APC in Ondo State. Justice Ekwo, while dismissing the suit, noted that Akeredolu was nominated by the APC on the 20th of July 2020 and the plaintiffs filed the suit on the 29th of the same month, which fell within 14 days required by law, but the suit became incompetent due to the withdrawal of the initial originating summons and its substitution on the 20th of August 2020. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has demolished 5 entertainment centers in Abuja for violating COVID-19 safety guidelines. The demolition, which was carried out in Jabi and Gwarimpa districts, is to prevent the gathering of large crowds in the areas. The report.
Following the increase of COVID-19 cases in the country, the FCT administration has hereby ordered the demolition of illegal entertainment spots and illegal housing constructions occupied by shanties in some parts of the Nigerian capital. The FCT Ministerial Task Team on COVID-19 hereby insists all health protocols must be observed.
They ought not to operate at all, despite the fact that there are even illegal settlement in illegal areas and having illegal structures. But people continue to gather crowd, keep crowd in their thousands, and sometimes also they even attract Kannywood stars from some other part of the country who come in to actually make presence there, and that we feel is a danger zone to spread COVID-19 because it's excessively too crowded. I'm sure that some of these big stars make appearance in those areas once in a while and boost the crowd that will come to those areas. I want to appeal to them to please stop coming for now. But should they come and decide to come, if we arrest them, despite their profile and their fame, we will arraign them before the court and they will stand before justice. I also appeal to residents to please actually stay indoors. Don't think that COVID-19 is for the rich. No, it affects the poor men as well. So those rushing to those Gidan drama and Gidan Dembe should please stay at home. Let's just finish COVID-19. You can go back, watch drama, and also do that.
The restriction on large gatherings is part of measures by the FCT administration to check the spread of COVID-19 in the territory and save lives. The COVID-19 task team warned persons who visit the affected areas to desist or risk sanctions. Ridwan Ogbara, reporting for Clearview Television.
And hard times await fake manufacturers and importers who deal on substandard goods. Director General Standards Organization of Nigeria, SAN, Malam Farouk Salim, gave the warning in Port Harcourt during the inspection of the organization's new building and exhibit bays. Salim said such unpatriotic individuals will be tracked down and prosecuted.
During the inspection of the new building, staffs of the Standards Organization of Nigeria lined up to receive the Director General, Malam Farouk Salim. Addressing journalists, the DG emphasized the need to work with stakeholders harmoniously, improve staff welfare, fish out substandard products, and prosecute their manufacturers.
Time to visit the employees of SUN and to see what they are doing, how we can help them do a better job what they're doing. Reach a lot of people, but at least within 2 months, we have 2 people now in court for offense they committed in, faking products.
In ensuring that liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, and the marine sectors meet consumers' demands, the coordinator of Rivers and Bayelsa State Standards Organization of Nigeria, Samuel Ayuba, affirmed that they were set to regulate the activities of the LPG and shipping sectors.
Important that for the first time, Standards Organization of Nigeria should enter into the oil and gas. We decided to start from the liquefied petroleum gas sector, that is the LPG sector, and the fabrication sector, because we have that competence.
Working in synergy, the online controller of the Nigerian Customs Service, Ahmed Mohammed, reaffirmed that the command was ready to work harmoniously with the Standards Organization of Nigeria.
And that'll be all, but before we go, a look at our top stories. The warning strike embarked upon by the non-academic unions of federal universities may have dashed the hope that federal universities will reopen soon. A letter dispatched to all branch chairmen of the unions explained that the three-day protest is against sharing of 40 billion naira earned allowances and non-implementation of the agreement it reached with the federal government. Ugandans are going to the polls on Thursday to elect a new leader in an election where the incumbent President Yoweri Museveni is contesting for a sixth term. In a sign that Uganda's government is preparing for protests and possible violence in the aftermath of the national election, the country's telecommunications regulator has blocked all social media platforms and messaging apps. We also brought you a report that 52-year-old Lisa Montgomery has been executed by lethal injection at the Federal Correctional Complex in Terre Haute, Indiana. Montgomery was the first woman to be executed by the government since 1953 and was the only woman on death row. Remember, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Clearview TV. Like us on Facebook at Clearview Television. Follow us on Instagram at ClearviewTV_NG. You can follow us on Twitter at Clearview Online. And Prudence Okona, many thanks for watching.